It's been interesting. I've been at St. Paul's now officially since August 1st, and we find ourselves moving into mid-October. And to be honest, it's been a bit like drinking water from a fire hose. This is without a doubt one of the strangest transitions I've ever made in my almost 10 years of ordained ministry. We always say that the church is not a building, that the church is the people. And it's been sad and has left me with a deep longing to really get to know my church, the church, you all here at St. Paul's. I loved the welcome parade, and it gave me this great glimpse, this bright glimpse, and not just because of the glaring sun, but because of the joy that was spilling out of your cars. And I hope that you felt that same joy reciprocated from me. And I have felt it in the interactions that I've had with people, from the small ways that I've had to get to know some people, from the Ochre Hater service to my installation, through Zoom meetings, through different projects here and there, and especially through worship, as we have had more people come in to do those pieces of our liturgy that are so important to our worship life together. So as we have added acolytes and added readers and added intercessors, it has been wonderful to see little bit by little bit the depth and the wonderfulness that is St. Paul's. You will have definitely received by now your stewardship pledge card. You would have received invitation upon invitation to join one of the small gatherings that we have here in the East Garden, or one of the gatherings on Zoom. And I know that we've had our wonderful concert, and we're going to have this great closing evensong on November 8th. I wouldn't be surprised if many people are feeling a little bit like me and trying to situate their desires with what feels safe. Coronavirus is real, it is serious, and it absolutely requires not only our diligence, but also our own self-reflection on what is best for our individual health and for the health of our families. We're trying very hard here at St. Paul's to make sure that no matter where you fall, from in-person to all virtual and everything in between, that we are offering a balanced plate for everyone to feast from. So our small group gatherings, we have masked in the garden. We had a larger masked gathering for our kickoff concert, and that I imagine will be much of the same as our Evensong Under the Stars on November 8th. We've had Zoom offerings for formation, for our stewardship gatherings. We've been trying to utilize the Friends of St. Paul's Facebook group, which, if you're not a part of that, I would highly encourage you to join. It's a great place for us to be able to have freer conversation with each other as a community, as it's just a little bit more intimate than the church's private or public Facebook page. And pretty soon, we're going to start having in-person worship. So I wanted to take a moment to clarify exactly what this move to including in-person worship will look like here at St. Paul's. We are committed, I am committed, to respect the dignity of every human being and to respect the dignity of every single person who chooses St. Paul's as their church. So if you are comfortable with in-person worship, then you can sign up and you can come for in-person worship, where we will wear masks and we will socially distance and where we will do all of the CDC requirements that are necessary for us to stay safe in an indoor setting. Those services will also be live streamed. I have so much respect for people who are thinking critically and reflectively about what the needs are for them personally and for their family. And so if you don't feel comfortable being in an indoor setting, even with all of the guidelines that are given to us by the CDC, I want you to receive the same worship that someone would receive in person. So that has been the delay to in-person worship now. It's because right now we don't have the capability to do that. And the last thing that I want to do is make people who are not comfortable being in person to feel as if somehow they are less than, or that they are not getting the best that we have to offer. In between in-person worship and live-streamed worship, where we would gather online, there will be a variety of opportunities for us to gather for fellowship and for formation and for worship that will meet the needs that you have for you and your family. That means we will do things online. That means we will do things outside. And that will mean that we do things inside. And as best as we can, we will try to translate everything so that you can participate fully at home or in person. Sometimes we won't be able to do that. Technology has its limits. People have their limits. And while I've been so deeply impressed with what the staff and volunteers and lay leadership of St. Paul's have grown and adapted and learned to do, I do not and would never place upon them an expectation of perfection or an expectation of doing everything all of the time. So there will be some things that just technologically or from a personnel perspective that we can't translate to online. And there will be some things that we can only offer online because they won't translate to in-person. And I would hope that we can find grace for each other in that we're trying our best and that we mean the best. And that all of these efforts are made to keep not only us together as a community, but to keep us together with God. We are often reminded in Scripture that God is with us always. And we have been presented with an opportunity in which we've been asked to ponder that question in new ways. Is God present online? Is God present when I'm alone? Is God present when I'm feeling scared or anxious or frustrated? My prayer for St. Paul's, my prayer for us, is that no matter where we are, that we will meet Christ together. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for me, any questions at all, you can easily get a hold of me via email, via phone. You can even send me a text message as long as you include your name. we will find our way through this. And we will find our way through this and come together for joy, no matter how that looks. God bless.